A research about China. Chinese are most influenced by Confucian, such as respect for authority, age, and education. However, those living in the urban areas of China may not adhere these principles. Yet these cultural norms underpin most Chinese customs as well as business practice. Confucian code of value of ethic and politeness are the beginning of every business establishment in China. To Chinese, these social ethics and behavior norms help them to bring harmonious in the country.
I researched about the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is a democratic and developed country based in Europe. It is important for a business who is looking to invest and set up a business in another country to understand the costs, business practices, and future economic growth of the country.
So I researched India, and India is one of the biggest countries in the world and one of the most populated. It's well known for many things such as their strong religious and cultural beliefs, beautiful holiday destinations, and their exquisite food. The country is thriving from trade and from companies setting up their businesses. India is the fast-growing country which is now reaching the higher ranks for many aspects.
A stable political environment is ideal for any foreign direct investment. China's political system is stable with the Communist Party of China being the founding and ruling party in the country. However, there is lack of freedom in the area of politics. Concern many of, for example, lack of openness of the political system in China. China has social network platform media such as Facebook and other social platforms are not accessible. Not many newspapers. Many newspapers are blocked online. Business information is shared on need-to-know base.
In the UK, it's slightly different. Citizens are allowed to elect a government through voting at an election. This type of political system provides stability within the country. This has been demonstrated through UK's consistent economic and political stability. The type of political system is a key factor in deciding whether a business will operate in the country. This is because a business will want a politically stable country where corruption risk is low and the order of law is upheld. If this is not the case, a business may be taking a high risk investing in a country where corruption is high and possibly end up losing their invested money.
So the political system in India has a president and a prime minister. The president is the head of state and the prime minister the head of government. India follows the dual policy system, which means they have a double government. The citizens elect representatives from each state from a list of people given to them by each party. There are elections every 5 years, and that person is the MP of that state. In India, there is a lot of corruption in politics, whereas Western countries have much more freedom on who they get to choose.
In China, there is no minimum wage for the whole nation, but each province sets their own minimum wage based on their local economic state. The wage can be divided into two, thus full-time workers to part-time minimum wages.
In the UK, they have very strict policies with regards to payment for employment. The UK sets a minimum wage which employers are obligated to pay at least to their workforce. The minimum wage is dependent on age. The minimum wage for someone who is 25 years old and over is £7.83 per hour, £7.38 per hour for a 21 to 24-year-old, £5.90 per hour for an 18 to 20-year-old, and then the apprentice wage is £3.70 per hour. It is important for a business to take this into consideration because if the labour costs are high, this would have a negative effect on the business's profit.
So currently the minimum wage in India is 93.75 rupees per hour. That is equal to £1.02. As said before, each year it is rising so that more money comes into each household, so they are willing to spend more in shops, cinemas and restaurants. Doing this helps grow the economy because they are able to put more money back into the country. Western cultures have a higher rate of pay which is growing every year, whereas Eastern cultures' wages are growing but very slowly and it isn't sufficient enough.
If a business wants to set up in China, there will be a corporation tax which the company will be liable to pay. These taxes are enterprise income tax under the Chinese law at a rate of 25% and business tax 3% or 5%.
The UK imposes a 19% corporation tax on profit for all businesses operating in the UK and a 20% VAT rate on goods and services. However, there are some exceptions with VAT depending on the goods and services. There could be a reduction. For example, children car seats are charged with a reduced rate of 5%. Depending on what the business is looking to sell, the rates of VAT differ. This would have an effect on the cost for a business as they will need to charge VAT to their customers, which will increase the price of their goods, which in turn perhaps may make their goods and services expensive in the eyes of the consumer. In addition, the business will need to pay corporation tax on their profits, which will further narrow their profit margin.
So each business also pays a tax, but the main one will be corporation tax. So that is when a business pays taxes for the profit that business makes. Depending on what sort of business you are, there are different methods of paying this.
Over the past years, the Chinese economy has grown, making it the world's largest and the world's largest population, making China an ideal place for business. Foreign businesses are required to employ Chinese workers before they can sell their goods and services in China, as well as share their technology. Chinese companies use this knowledge to make their products themselves.
The UK's economy is expected to grow by 1.3% in 2018 and 1.6% in 2019. However, fixed investment is to fall by 0.5% in 2018 due to the uncertainty about Brexit, but will regain 0.8% in 2019. Interest rates in the UK is expected to increase to 1% in mid-2019. This is important for a business to be aware of these economic projections, as it may negatively or positively affect the business. For example, if the business was looking to loan money from the bank, the increase in interest rates could cause a higher interest charged on the bank loan.
So in India, the economy has been getting stronger with each year. They are now the most fastest growing country economically, and their economic growth forecast is 7 to 7.5 for 2018 and 2019.
China is aiming to nail FDI in advanced manufacturing and service, such as logistic development, higher education, as well as vocational training. This aim will help boost the Chinese economy, also lift per capita incomes.
The Crossrail is a company which is building the newest railway called the Elizabeth Line. It is estimated that the economy will be boosted by £42 billion, which also improves the transport links in the London and South East area. The economic benefits from this project is that it's adding a drive to regenerate the areas along the Elizabeth Line. There are over 57,000 new homes being developed as a result of this and 55,000 full-time jobs. The new railway line is expected to complete in 2019.
So trade is one of the main reasons that India's economy is growing. India has many valuable elements such as diamonds, mineral fuels and rice. Exports have brought in millions into the country. Doing this has allowed certain industries to thrive and grow, such as farming. India is one of the #1 countries for exporting rice, and this has allowed farming to carry on growing more crops and extend the amount of rice they produce, and carry on exporting this. This allows more money to go to farmers, and exports will only increase as multinational businesses keep setting up businesses in India. The government have been looking to develop India's economy for a long time. The economic planning aims to regulate the investment activity by private enterprise and improve the government's activities towards the underdeveloped areas.
China relies less on import of manufacturing products, produce and sell products, their goods and services with high knowledge with modern high technology combined.
The HS2 is a high-speed railway network which will connect the north of England to the south of England. The project is expected to complete in 2026. The economic benefits from this project is that it's projected to boost the UK economy by £15 billion each year, more jobs for the labour force, and the encouragement for businesses to invest outside of London as the transport links are improved and more connected.
So the cost of multinational businesses companies moving to India will be very cheap. The labour, rent and equipment will be very cheap compared to other Western countries. However, in India, the labour wages have increased, but due to currency exchange rates, the Indian rupee hasn't got much value compared to UK or France, where they have the pound and euros. So India has been ranked the cheapest place to live, and this is supporting data that claims this shows multinational businesses that the rent will be the cheapest possible price here. so they would be most willing to set up in this country. Other costs for multinational businesses would be shipping, packaging, or stock.
The Chinese are more hierarchy and show respect toward those higher up. An employee on the lower down the pay scale would not have any form of direct contact with their managers. Every employee must know their place in their business structure and abide by this culture norms.
The UK's central principles of business culture is politeness, courtesy, discipline and punctuality. The UK's business culture has adopted a less hierarchy system, but they are still in place and impact decision-making processes. Opposed to decisions being seen and forced upon employees, they are more displayed as guidelines and recommendations.
Hierarchy is important in India because everyone must know where they stand. That way, people know how to address others who are either above or below them. You should be formal to those above you, but casual to those on your level and below. When you look at Western and Eastern cultures, both show a high amount of respect in the workplace.
Chinese enter meeting rooms in a hierarchical manner. Business open hours are usually 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and from Monday to Fridays.
Often meetings can be conducted in coffee shops and pubs instead of the office in the UK. It is important for you to arrive either on time or a few minutes early for your meeting, otherwise it can appear extremely unprofessional.
When going for a meeting, people tend to make small talk and have personal conversations first. This makes them more comfortable to be able to give their opinions freely. They also must greet the most senior person at the table as a sign of respect.
Handshakes are the most common way of greetings, but a foreigner has to wait for the Chinese counterpart to make the gesture first. People can nod or bow slightly their heads when greeting an elderly Chinese man or woman.
In the UK, it's common to greet someone through a handshake and to call them by the name they introduce themselves as. The younger generation tend to say their first name, whilst the older generation address themselves with their title and name.
In India, handshakes are the standard greeting. If there is a group of people, then the greeting must be done in age order with the eldest first. A traditional greeting is by saying namaste and placing both hands together with a slight bow showing respect for the Indian culture. As India is such a large country, there are many languages, so in different areas of India they use different words as an alternative to namaste.
Business cards are exchanged when meeting a new person. There is a strange procedure when exchanging cards. The cards should be in both Chinese and English. You should place your business card with both hands and make sure the Chinese side is facing the person. When receiving the card, you should collect it with both hands, read the card and put it away.
In the UK, business cards are often exchanged within business, and there is no specific procedure in swapping cards.
A business card should be swapped after greeting. You should accept the card with your right hand and put it away. If you have any university degrees, this should be mentioned on the card. Ideally, you should have one side of the card written in traditional language of the area as a sign of respect.
When it comes to dress code, the Chinese dress smart. Certain industries have an informal dress code. During hot weather, men can wear trousers and shirts, while women dress elegant and covering outfits. Leather should not be worn.
Formal business attire is what is worn by most employees in the UK. Women can wear business suits, skirts, shirts and blouses, whilst men can wear dark suits with shirt and tie. In certain industries such as arts, IT, casual attire is acceptable.
Depending where you work, dress code is vital. Looking smart and presentable is a key if you're working in a high-up job.